What's going on, guys? It's Elias. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about another race car available from Honda's HPD program. As you know, Honda has been providing the Civic Si race car as the Civic TCA race car, available for a bunch of different racing series. And last year they provided the full-out Civic Type R TCR race car, which is an entirely different beast with very adjustable suspension and all that good stuff. As you can see here, this is Tom O'Gorman driving the Civic Si TCA race car. This is in 2017, and it was just in development at the time. So right now you can go and buy yourself a Civic Si, a Civic TC, and a Civic TCR race car for all, a bunch of different prices. For today's video, we're going to be talking about the Civic Type R TC race car, and it's basically the middle of the pack. So what am I going to be covering? I'm going to be covering the specs, I'm going to be covering what it does, what the program gives you, what's good about the car, what's possibly bad about the car, and what I think about it. So let's go ahead and get started. So for me, one of the most exciting parts about seeing the development that Honda has put into all of its new race cars is the fact that the 10th gen Civic has really outpaced and outshined a lot of the competition in the racing field. There are so many different people looking at Civic race cars to start with. There's people that are starting with them. There are professionals racing in the British Touring Car Championship with them. There's people using them for SCCA racing. There's so many different variations of these race cars out there. It's truly impressive. It was because of that back in 2017 I went ahead and bought my Honda Civic Type R, and currently, I did have a crash, but currently I'm developing it into a race car for the 2020 season, mostly doing time attacks. So let's compare what the new Type R TC car gives you versus what I'm going to be doing with my car. Alright, let's go over what you get for the $89,000 price tag that this prepared race car gives you. So you get a revised radiator by CSF, a new oil cooler by CSF, you get upgraded race downpipe and exhaust by Borla, you get an upgraded third and fourth gear sets. It is still a 6-speed manual with a regular clutch, but the gears are upgraded. That goes to show you that our regular Type R gear sets are not as strong as they need to be. It does have a full roll cage and a fire suppression system, and with that roll cage you of course get your harness that's super important to keep you in place when you're racing around. You do get the same engine, but with a different ECU you can tune it to 270 horsepower or all the way up to 330 horsepower depending on which series you're running. As you know, a big problem with these Civic Type Rs is heat management. As you can see, they are running a modified grille, which is the exact same grille that I'm actually running. I got it off eBay. I'll cover that in a different video. And they're also running a J's Racing vented hood. Super cool. My favorite modification is the APR Performance wing that I'm also looking into. Awesome wing, provides a lot of downforce. So instead of fog lights, they're actually running brake ducts from those vents. As you can see, there's no fog light there, just a hole. That's pretty awesome as well. So in addition to all of that, there's also a Cusco upgraded limited slip differential, a 16-gallon fuel tank, which is a huge improvement over the 10-gallon fuel tank that the regular car uses. It's got the 2-piece gyro disc rotors, which are very good. A little bit expensive in my opinion to get them separately, but it comes with these, so very cool. Finally, to round out the extensive list of modifications, you can see from the strut towers that it does have upgraded coilovers with fully adjustable camber, caster, all that good stuff. So as a full package, it's actually a really compelling car. It's ready to go for you to go racing. It's even got the racing steering wheel. It's got pretty much everything that you could ever need to go racing. So in addition to the fully outfitted race car, Honda Performance Development supports all of its racing customers with trackside factory engineering and parts support, and an exclusive technical support line that can connect racing customers directly with HPD engineers when they're not at the track. That gives amateur and professional racers alike a beneficial advantage, being able to contact the factory at any moment whenever they feel like they have an issue or an improvement they'd like to make to the car. It also allows race car drivers and race car owners the abilities to buy parts as needed. You know, when you do race a car, parts do tend to break every so often, and being able to buy them at a quick pace and a moment's notice from the factory is very beneficial and very convenient. So all of these things are included in the price tag, $89,900. So my initial thoughts on all of that is that it's so cool that Honda allows you to buy race cars directly from them, and they support you all the way through, from amateur racing all the way through to professional BTCC and other professional type racing. I think Honda doing that is a huge boost to the reputation. I mean, without racing, there is no Honda. Soichiro Honda himself said that. So seeing Honda come back to its roots and offer these cars for sale, not just one, not two, but 3 different cars that you can buy, is just awesome. Another thing that we're able to see from HPD developments of the Civic Type R chassis is where we should spend our time upgrading our personal Civic Type Rs. For example, the cooling upgrades that were done are quite significant to the regular Civic Type R. The tuning abilities as well, and the upgraded 3rd and 4th gears is definitely an eye-opener. As you guys know, I've had a ton of transmission issues with my car, and while they're mostly fixed, I have heard that if you do track your car significantly, it will go bad no matter what you do. So once my transmission goes bad, you best believe I'll be upgrading the synchros and the gear sets in my 3rd and 4th gear. The one modification that kind of took me for a loop there, and I still don't understand why they did it, is the fact that they upgraded the limited slip differential, the factory one, to a Cusco upgraded limited slip. Now I don't know if that's for longevity reasons or what the case may be, but I'll definitely be looking into that, and if I can get a hold of a Honda engineer at some point through Instagram or Facebook, I'll let you know if I get an answer to that. What other questions would you like me to ask a Honda engineer about the new race car and about our Civic Type Rs? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Also in the comment section, let me know what you think of the new Civic Type R TC car. Now let's take a look at the negatives. So the negatives for this car, now of course obviously you can't daily drive it. It's not street legal, so you can't drive it. I'm not even gonna list that as a negative. It is what it is. We're talking about race cars here. Let's talk specifically about the cost of the car. So for an MSRP of around $38,000, you can get a brand new Civic Type R street car. And for that, you get pretty much everything that you get in the new TC race car, minus of course all of the different modifications. So when you build up your Civic Type R street car, you can definitely build it pretty much exactly to the spec that the TC car is built to. And doing some quick maths after looking at all the parts and different prices that I found online, I was able to tally everything up, and really for around $65,000, let's say, assuming that you did half the labor yourself, you can build the same exact spec. So what are you really getting for the $90,000? Well, the main thing is, again, that factory support. You're able to call them. They will go with you trackside if they have availability, if you ask them to. Let's say you have an endurance race that you want to book, they will support you in that. They will support you in terms of media, and they'll actually use you in press releases as well. So for publicity purposes, they'll actually also benefit you. So it's a number of different things that you're paying for besides just the parts and modifications. The fact that they're also going to be covering you in terms of any type of issues that you run into. Let's say that the ECU tuning doesn't turn out to be as reliable as it needs to be for racing. They will develop that for you. If you have any issues with the braking or the brake balance, they can easily send a computer over or a technician over and help you with that, no problems at all. Another negative that I found is the fact that if you do buy a TC car, you will never be able to get a license plate for it. It doesn't come with the proper VIN number, so you can never go to the DMV and ask for a plate to even try to take it out on the streets. And if I take my regular Civic Type R and build it into a race car, I'll still have that proper VIN number, and I can put insurance on it and throw plates on it if I really want to. I can go get some groceries and my fully built race car, of course. So yeah, that's another disadvantage. And then I think the final disadvantage is that you do need to have some type of racing license to obtain a Civic Type R TC car. Now you can get these racing licenses from different sanctioning bodies. There's the SCCA, the Sports Car Club of America. I'm actually a part of the SCCA. You can get it from NASA. I don't remember what it stands for. It's not the National Aeronautic and Space Administration. That's the Space NASA. This other NASA is another racing body. And there are other places you can get your racing license from. But you do need a racing license, and you do need to go through an application process and get accepted before you are even allowed to buy a race car from Honda. So, final thoughts here. Would I go out and buy a Honda Civic Type R TC race car? Well, first I'd have to go apply, and if they do accept me, I would be tempted to do so. However, I've already bought my Honda Civic Type R. I've driven it a bunch since 2017. I've gotten to know it. I've grown quite attached to my car, in case you guys don't know. And I did have that accident already last year at Shenandoah. I'm sure all of you guys already know that. So because of all of that, I think the most prudent investing to do with my Civic Type R is to turn it into a full-fledged race car myself. Now, as I said, it is a lot cheaper to do all of the things that Honda does on its race cars to your own car. So I'll be putting in a roll cage, the racing buckets, the harness, the fire suppression, all of that stuff myself. So I think for me, going forward, I'm going to be happy with my own build. If I did have to start and go back in time and do it all over again, would I get the race car? I probably would, just so that I can take racing more seriously.